Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson.
Well, greetings and salutations.
Look at who is back. My man, Dapper Danders, what he's going about tonight. What's up, Nats, man? Tonight, what's up, Clay? If anybody's been watching my video since this whole week, kind of putting the National behind me, but since I got Nats fan on, or anybody else has any questions that were there, not there, feel free to ask. I can talk about the Nats, man. I can talk about the National endlessly for either this past year, any year, or years to come, just in general. This was my 7th one. So I still learning. Every year I find something new out about the National. Also, I would like to have – I don't know if anybody's been watching this week. Have you seen any of the Panini Fanatics news this week? That's
other than on Sports Card Radio.
Hi, James.
Talking about it.
Right. And I can tell you right now, yeah, I'm with you with that, Carlisle. I say it every time he's on here. If y'all haven't been to his channel, run, don't walk. I wouldn't even be depressed if you leave my channel right now to check out his videos. That's how much I like his videos. He did one on like original Allen and Ginter birds, and I just thought that was amazing. Dr. Exclusive has the best Beckett book ever. I am going to talk 1 second without anybody asking, so because everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" This guy Joe got to meet, hung out with at the show Thursday night at the get together. Nats man, he has a couple of different Beckett's, right? He has one with the he's from Canada. He has the first time I think Gretzky was on Beckett. He's going to have Dr. Beckett sign it. Did you ever get Dr. Beckett to sign that one? He was a little nervous to go. They do it all the time. He loves it. But he also had another Beckett. Like I signed on the 1976 Gary Carter card that was in there. I forgot where he had Mike O signed, but there was a thing about rules of the rookie card, and he had Victor, the rookie card specialist, sign that. And Victor brought it up on his channel. It was great. Joe won the night. There was a bat being passed around that night, autographed. I signed a baseball. I signed cards. It was such a fun weekend. I have to get you, Nats man, one of my special cards from the week. Definitely. But man, I just wanted to. I saw Joe. That's going to be something I think brought up by everybody. If anybody could tell, I found a place for her. So you're going to be seeing her in my videos. Looking over.
I died laughing when you did the video. I was like, you got it. You did it.
Yeah. And I tell you, man, I wasn't going to buy nothing until I bought that. And I was true to my word on that one. Nice. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to stop. If I find other ones of her that I still would like to find one of her in the New Hope white gown that she wore or dress or whatever throughout the whole New Hope. Nice, Joe. I meant to ask you and it slipped my mind. But yeah, and that card I was giving out, he texted me today. He got a gold one, gold auto. And I ran out, like that pin ran out. So I only did one card on that. I had 50 cards to sign. So he got an unnumbered 1 of 1. I told him. Yeah. But I have 5 other 1 of 1s. So the housemates each got a 1 of 1 with a personal inscription on it. And then I had a 1 of 1 I made a card with the Death Star up in the corner, and it says "That's not a moon" is the inscription on it. So I don't know if anybody got that one. I might still have that. I know somebody that might get it. Did you have it? I know you probably like everybody. Did you take in like all the 8,000 different videos this week of the national?
I've for the most part, just the folks that I normally follow, which is in our circle.
Right.
And I think one common denominator for I'll do two common denominators that I got from it. One was everybody really enjoyed what's up. Really enjoyed all the contacting with each other, and networking with each other on a personal level as well.
Right.
I noticed that was a pretty good topic amongst everybody. And then the other one was the heat and the air conditioning issue in there on the floor. That seemed to be the two common denominators a lot of folks had. I can only imagine the humidity in that thing. It probably, if you looked up, it probably had a cloud with rain falling at some point.
But like Mike said, and somebody asked us like the smell or whatever. That was the one national. I didn't get a whiff of BO. Did you, Mike?
Not that I experienced. I'm not saying it wasn't maybe there from time to time. I'm sure some people experienced it, but no, I think people hammering out those videos over the last 5 years, I think finally people got the message going, oh, you know what? I will get a shower. I will invest in a, thing of deodorant. So
make sure my right guard don't turn left. With y'all, I do have a question for y'all. Since y'all went, and I've not heard anybody talk about this. Did they promote the vote, and was there a decision made about the vote where the vendors voted? Wasn't it in 25? Is it 25 where it may go, or 26?
26. No,
so technically the ballot, they might have voted for 26 and 27, but 27 the choices were Chicago. So
right,
they might have an official ballot. I don't know. I think they did. I think I saw the ballot, but there's no real choice.
Everybody, just real quick about this. Everybody, yes, the dealers have a vote, but the board has the final say. And everybody needs just 1 second to remember that they're probably taking account what the dealers say, but the board is going to do what the board, and we got a new group starting next year. So who knows? This is usually on Saturday after the vote. They usually announce it Saturday night. We got a blackout at Mike. Philly's having technical difficulties.
Oh no, I just got an alert about some eBay auctions ending soon, so I'm tossing a few bids real quick.
There you
go. I'll show a card that I picked up for the National. I've shown it to Scott already.
Yeah.
But it's two of my guys that I PC.
As soon as I saw it, I knew. I was like, "That's it. That's for him."
It's I got $5.
The only thing that Topps being
$5 free shipping.
Yeah, and that's awesome. But Topps being Topps, that's a pretty high end card to have two plain swatches in it. You know what I'm saying? You got a good price on it for sure.
Yeah, because like my other swatches that I have, like with Soto, they're colored. It's not. I don't have anything that's because it's priced so high. Right. Is the actual Washington patch,
right,
or anything with the letter? It's just ungodly amounts of money.
Right, and so let's shift. We've talked a week ad nauseum about the National.
You know the sad part is though, Scott.
What's that?
Being at the National, and I'm sure some people who weren't there are probably like, all right, they're rolling their eyes. They've had enough. Every day that goes by, you're further away. So obviously it starts to get out of sight, out of mind. But I've been thinking about that National every single day, and I'm still watching videos every day because
I am too.
I'm so behind. There's so many I didn't see, and every year
There's a lot.
more people are making videos, and you interact with these people, and you want to see what they picked up. You want to see those clips you haven't seen, because obviously some people we've seen in passing, and you'd say hello, but you only got to see so much because obviously you just run out of time. So
Hey, Andy.
I know at a certain point you have to move on, but I'm just still like,
I'm not moving on as a person, but like
Yeah.
just tonight, I
No,
kind of
yeah.
want to. I don't want to everybody. Oh, he's still talking about it. Like I'll talk about it for every show. I mean,
One day further from Mike. One day further
I was
from the
gonna say
last
it's
one.
what what's it,
One
55
closer.
weeks away? Like,
I mean, we've already got our house booked for next year. We're already talking about it. Now we just got to figure out how to get Nats man up there with us, and it'll be a great time. But what I kind of want to talk about was, if anybody looked at my thumbnail for tonight, is this Fanatics versus Panini. Panini's coming with a class action suit against them, and I kind of don't blame them. I mean, you've always been told if a bully's going to bully, you smack them in the nose and see what they do. I just think Fanatics has won, and instead of just winning and gloating, they want to bury Panini for some reason. They've taken 50 workers from them. The biggest thing, and I haven't only heard one. Carlos did a great thing on this one. They're holding them back at the printers. That's the thing that gets. There's two things that really gets me. And everybody's talking about Ruben being a collector, and this is going to be great for the people. But there was two things. The first thing was the printers, and the second thing was signing rookie NFL and NBA players to autograph contracts.
yeah,
So
I think they got 3 of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks, right, to exclusive autographs.
So you're not going to have a rookie autograph in uniform of those quarterbacks. Let's just think about that for a minute. What do we love in this hobby? We love
unless you collect hockey.
Yeah, unless you collect hockey. Floating Head says they don't like autographs, but I think when I heard that, everybody's like, "Oh, Ruben is just dominating." I heard that and I go, "Wait a minute, that's not helping anybody by doing that, right?" I mean, you're just hurting the collectors. At that point, you're not hurting Panini; you're hurting the collectors. Wait 2 years and you have them all. I don't get it.
And this is all on the heels of after. Didn't they have? Well, I guess rumored at this point, or conjecture, is they had a deal pretty much ironed out.
Well, see, I haven't heard that, but people have assumed that.
Yeah,
you got to remember, Panini is huge. They're more international than Topps is. So for Panini to sell their licenses to Prism and Mosaic, that means they're selling their soccer, their wrestling, any racing, any overseas merchandise they have. That's a huge sell. And they're bigger than just NBA and NFL. And I don't know.
This was for the sale, just Panini America, right? Licensing, correct?
What's that?
I thought it was Panini America trademark, licensing products.
Yeah, but
Panini America.
But they use like Prism for them. That's a huge thing. If they sold that right, then they couldn't use it anymore. Or Mosaic, or that's what they're known by. I mean, even new collectors, I believe, like all of us old heads, will buy some Topps Chrome when Topps Chrome comes out for NFL, right? We can't wait for Topps Chrome. Or I used to love
Topps flagship.
Yeah, Top flagship NFL. We're all thirsty for it. But these new people that come in during COVID and all that, they're going to be crying because there's no Prism or Optic. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to have the same understanding as we do. I mean, they'll understand it quickly, but I just think when I heard that, and I heard some people really like thinking, "Oh, this is just a ruthless guy stepping on their necks, laughing in a corner at this." I just think it's kind of, I don't think anything is going to come of this. I really don't. They'll either just sell it out of court and Panini will go away, or they'll go and get $2 and get sent away. Either way, just the American division, just take license and some brands, almost every combo as possible. Yeah, I understand that, Carlos. I understand all that, but what brands will they sell? I mean, I'm sure Topps wants Prism, Fanatics wants the Prism brand, and that's their bread and butter. I don't know, because when Ruben says they've been trying to sell themselves for the last 2 years, I don't think it means to somebody else. I think it's to the public, to the people buying their product. They're trying to sell their product, and they're getting hammered. I just saw a box opening of Legacy from a good friend of mine that every rookie corner was damaged.
Don't even start about redemptions.
Right, and redemptions and
points, baby.
What's that?
Points. I got points in, I think, a Prism baseball box. I got a thing of points, which actually was 1,500 points, which when I looked it up, I realized I think it actually goes for like $70, so it's probably better than whatever autograph I was going to get. But then in the Donruss Mega box, I got points as well, like points.
Right, and you opened up a box of Legacy football. Have you contacted anybody about that?
Not yet, but I also I think I bought 3 boxes of Prism baseball. 2 were fine. One of them, there were at least 10 or 12 cards where the corners are straight up mangled. Not like slightly dented, like I don't have them handy, but like completely mangled. And the box doesn't have crushing or anything. Same thing with that Legacy box. So it was just somehow in the packaging, like obviously however they filter those cards in, they had an issue. So I'll try and look at that next week, but I had a second box of Legacy, and it actually was fine, thankfully.
Right. So, Joe, that's a great point. It doesn't stop them from doing. I mean, Upper Deck has been signing exclusives for years. I mean, when Robles first came up with the Nationals, they signed him there because they thought he was supposed to be the guy, not Soto.
Yep.
People don't.
I can't believe he's still there.
Robles?
It's fielding.
Yeah.
He's there. I mean, he's a great center fielder.
No, he's great defensively, but it's just amazing. It feels like he's played. He just is one of those guys. It feels like he's had a 20-year career already, and it's probably like 5 years.
Yeah, but he's like.
Don't get me started with their office.
What did he start at? 20, 19, 20? He's
19.
one of the young bucks that came up, but that is. It's part of the game, but when you sit there, don't tell me that Ruben is for the collector, and he does that type of stuff, because all he's trying to do, and when you start telling me you got corners damaged and it's possibly being printed at the same place that Fanatics owns the printing presses, I love a good conspiracy. I just love a good conspiracy. Only the rookies were damaged too. That was the thing, and and they come on sheets, so it's just weird to me.
Once the brothers from Sports Card Radio be on the History Channel with a documentary.
Yeah, I'm trying to give them some. I'm a collector. I barely care about the collector's cut, let alone Ruben. Hey, I'm trying to point out, because everybody's going to saying how Golden, which we know Golden's not for Ruben.
Golden showed up at the Mike Go Filmington hangout.
Yeah, that's just because he was too drunk to make it upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, not so much here, but right here.
Did you see the? I don't know if you saw it, Scott. I should find it. There's Phil got a selfie with him,
No, but
and you see me in the back, all the way in the background, looking at him like, "What are you doing?" I just have this disgusted look on my face.
I saw the picture with that Mangini has with him and his girlfriend. So
yeah,
that he. So, but I wanted to bring that up, and I'm doing what I'm doing. I got people, boom, hitting me back with stuff because everybody wants to see that side of it. Oh, Panini's just bitching and crying. No, it's a business, man. Fanatics is coming in, strong arming. They put Topps in a situation where Topps just collapsed. One day they're going public, the next day they're not, and they just collapse. And they sold them and bought them for pennies on the dollar. PWCC owes so much money; they're about to go under. They buy them pennies on the dollar. And now they're trying to put Panini in the same situation by strong arming them into a situation to do what Carlos said. Sell a portion of Panini America, whatever. When all Fanatics has to do is wait. You already got them where they can't. You bought the Players Association from under them, so they can't even do that this year. They're basically making Leaf products, which I have to agree. I haven't opened mine, but watching you open and seeing what you've opened so far, Mike, with the Prism, it's a fun rip. You just not. Are you selling any of that for anything? Is anybody player?
I actually a lot of those parallels. I've gotten a lot of offers on some. I've had a busy weekend, so I've had some sell, and then I've gotten a lot of offers that I have to. You're only going to get a couple bucks a card for some of the parallels, but. No, I was like legitimately excited because I didn't look at the checklist ahead of time. When I found a Chuck Klein card, I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome!" Like that. Obviously, there's not a lot of pre-war collectors out there that are probably chasing after Panini, but I was like, "Oh, I can get some cheap parallels of him, color parallels. That's cool." Richie Ashman's in it, so I like that. But more so, a lot of people like the prospects. People are looking for cheap Ellie De La Cruz and stuff.
Right. So Andy makes a good point, and I'm glad he made this point because this makes me want to reiterate and maybe say something I haven't been saying. I'm not a Ruben fan, but I feel like he tried more this week than Panini has in the last 5 years. Zero sympathy for Panini for me. I agree. I have no sympathy for Panini. Okay. The point system is a travesty. They should be locked up. Their redemptions terrible.
The worst part about the points thing is if you go to use it, I mean the selection's horrific. I don't know. Maybe they have like a new release. I've never looked into it enough, so maybe like the good stuff.
Last time I looked at it, was the same stuff that was there 5 years ago.
But when you do it, say you get 250 points and you just look through and the card you're going to redeem it for is legitimately probably worth $1 or $2. But let's just say you find a player for a team you collect, or
right.
In your case, it's maybe even a little easier for you because maybe you can find a collegiate kid that you remember and you're like, all right, cool, I'll pick this up. The card's worth very little.
Right.
And then it makes you, unless they changed it, it's going to charge you $5, $6, $7 for shipping, which is just absolute bullshit, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, that's a joke.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have the same little problem with Upper Decks or thing they have on their redemptions. But here's my thing. So I don't have sympathy for Panini. My problem only is I just want to show another side of this. I don't even know if it's a problem. Everybody is quick to say Panini's crying, but Panini's doing the right business thing by at least fighting back, taking the last gasp. Whatever, they're going to lose it regardless. But at least hey, step back a little bit, Fanatics. Give them some.
Yeah, they're going to play games with each other. So
right.
Fanatics is going to sign the quarterbacks to exclusive deals, which hurts the Panini products, and helps Fanatics theoretically sell some trashy products with the autographs that people don't want, but they'll take because there's no other choice. And then Panini's going to do the lawsuits, and they're both trying to squeeze each other. And maybe that's just Panini trying to get a little more for selling off certain stuff in the future. Fanatics, squeezing them to try and get a hold of things a little quicker, or maybe be able to cheapen, like they've done with other companies, make them a little more desperate to buy up what they want at a perhaps cheaper price. So, I mean, it's not going to be a quick resolution, I don't think.
No, and I think that Panini's doing more of this just to bring a little bit of stuff that's going on in the background to the foreground a little bit, and I've been really on Fanatics' side about this whole thing. I've been trying to, at first when it happened, I was like, oh no, what's going to happen at Topps? But I was like, wait a minute, we've been bitching about Topps for the last 4 or 5 years. Let's see what happens. Let's sit back. Thank goodness they bought Topps, so we at least have Topps flagship by name. Hopefully, Fanatics could change that. We don't know, but I think I can't wait for them to get football and basketball. But at the same breath as I can wait a little bit.
I can't wait for football. Well, I can wait, but if they gave up basketball, it wouldn't affect me much.
That too. Yeah, I think he does have one of my shirts on there, Mr. Fisher Bike. Hoops and Homers Panini is going to be selling pajama cards for years. Yeah, they will be. And you know what? They're good at it. They're better than Leaf at it. I can tell you that. Prism, as long as they got their quality control, it's a good card. Their quality control in the last few years has been pathetic. That's why I don't have much. I don't feel bad for Panini. I just want everybody to realize there's more to this than just. That's where does the collector fall in? That's my thing. The people that are purchasing the product. I mean,
as usual, just some products at higher prices, regardless.
Right. This past week, it just seems like we had a lot of fun. It would have been fun to see Panini and Topps booth next to each other. They have separated by a little bit. It just, they waited till after the show for this to get released. And I just
had a vision of Streetcar Named Desire fight scene.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's have a musical edition.
Well, James, you won't have too much longer to even have to worry about it. So, I have some over here. I've been looking tonight. I've been going through my old, some of my old Prism stuff. Like I keep like the old draft, MLB draft stuff. Like I got Colton Cowser here, however you say it, for the Baltimore, stuff like that. So I have fun with it. I'll get that graded for my Baltimore stuff.
They certainly make too many parallels, and of course Topps is, doing the same thing at this point. But they are cool looking. Yeah. Like they look good. I do like the parallels.
Well, that's how they can get away with everybody bitches about print runs, but if you have 48 parallels, you could print because everybody's just collecting the parallels anyway. Nobody really, unless it's a base rookie, nobody really cares about it. I did not have a Streetcar Named Desire reference while bingo card. Well played, Nat. I did have a streetcar Named Desire reference while bingo card. Whatever. It's just, we're having a good time. Another Sunday night. Just trying to get back into the groove of things. I didn't have a buffer day. I said this before. This week has been just crazy for me. I know Mike had a couple of days where you had to come back and do your eBay stuff, and you did a Tuesday night sale, which I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe he's doing a sale tonight. We were busy
straight through everyday stuff going on.
Yeah, so we got right back into the swing of things. Life continues on. I even looked for a card show this weekend around me. The closest one was like 2 hours away. Next week, though. But while I was gone, they had at the baseball stadium here, they had a pretty big card show. And they had a wrestling thing in Raleigh where a bunch of wrestlers were there. Like today's wrestlers are just retired wrestlers.
Who did the promotion at the ballpark? Do you remember? Was it
Not
the same? Was it the Charlotte guy again?
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't Tidewater. But
Charlotte,
this was their first one, and it was supposed to be the biggest show in the state or something like that. I don't know. I don't know where they had it there. I guess on the concourse, because that's got a center field entranceway with a big concourse that walks around the outfield fence around walkway.
At night stadium, they did it on the concourse for the backside of the suites and stuff. I think.
Really, I don't think they have that here. It's the grandstands are not. They only go down. It's high A ball, so it's not huge. A lot of seating. It's a lot of picnic area and a lot of like kids stuff there.
It's amazing how many sales and such. Like, so East Coast National was either this weekend or next weekend. I forget. Over in New York. And then I know Philadelphia, there's it's more of an autograph event, but there's, sports card and memorabilia show with it. That's, I think, next weekend or the following weekend. And the freaking auction houses, my God, there's so many big auctions going on.
Right.
Huggins and Scott a few days ago, Sterling Sports a few days ago, REA, I think, is next week. I'm forgetting a bunch of other, there's 3-4 other ones going on. It's just like, just never ending between, up to national, after national.
Did you see the one that had the Star Trek memorabilia that got posted in?
I did not.
Star Trek stuff. They, I want to say it might have been golden. Like, so they had a collection from somebody that either worked on the original Star Trek or was something to do with the original Star Trek. And they had a blue, a gold, a red shirt, a pair of the black boots.
I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Wars, but I'm a Trekkie.
Right. I mean, I stopped and I was like, because the red shirts are always the ones that got buzzed down and a red shirt was being buzzed down, he wasn't going to make it through the show. That was the joke of that show. So I thought that was pretty cool, but I still don't understand what the need is to have all the museum stuff there. It takes up so much space.
I mean, yeah, I feel like
catalog is all you need to do.
And, all these auction houses, have whatever. Most of the big auction houses there have 4 or 5 big auctions a year anyway.
Right.
Like they only set up for this one. Like
right.
It's good stuff at every auction, and the people who are going to bid on this stuff are going to bid on this stuff. Like,
right.
Is it cool to see the stuff in hand, whether you're a buyer or not? Yes, but every one of those auction houses had, bigger than needed displays. And in some cases, some stuff you're looking at, and it's like, oh, this is a little lower end thing. Still pricey, but I can't even buy it. Can't even make an offer on it. It's more frustrating than anything.
Well, that's why, you had cases of cards, and like you said, you can't. It's just there for auction preview. Well, just hand me a catalog then.
What's y'all's thought on this? Because on the name,
hell yeah, I was looking at the one. No, go ahead.
On the name, Scott broke us up on a video, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, shit, it makes a lot of sense. But what he's saying is,
Oh, it's heritage.
It says it's a convention.
Thanks, Andy.
Is it a convention or a trade show? Well, I've been to a convention, and that ain't no convention. Is it just? Did it? I mean, is it?
It's a sports collectors convention that is also the biggest card show, and now is becoming a trade show because there's more and more trade nights, and now there's trade right outside of the convention being set up. And at some point, I feel like, I don't know how they'll do it or how they could police it, but I feel like at some point in the future, they're going to have some sort of interactive trade area. But I'm sure with the dealers there, they would want to police it where there's no cash being exchanged hands, but that's hard to police. And I feel like that also makes it hard for guys to make deals. But like, at one point, is that part of it? Or is there going to be an admission event to go to a trade night type of thing? Like, who knows? But I don't know. I just know clearly the hobby is not dying.
No, it's morphing into more and more. I think they have plenty of area to have a dedicated trade area or sit down area. If you have a sit down area, it's going to turn into a trade area. I mean, it's just going to be, you're not going to be able to stop it.
It sounds like they need to do something with that VIP section too. Make it a real true, even if that means raising the cost of the VIP access.
Well,
I wish I would have gone in there to hear this.
I can tell you,
loud place that Scott's
this year was an actual VIP. They had, I think, drinks and food, but you had to listen to whatever they were on the. I'm sorry, I'm 51. I don't want to hear somebody on a microphone yelling at me. I just want to sit in there and talk to other people. I left the floor from all that nonsense, not to go to another room with more nonsense. And I don't mean nonsense as I just mean a bunch of commotion going on. I go in there to relax, to separate myself from it. That's why I buy the pass, to separate myself from it.
Scott wants two things. He wants to sit down and rest his back and legs, and he wants to get away from the hooligans. And you go in there and you got to listen to the hooligans, and who knows if there were enough seats to sit down and relax.
Right. They had enough seats. I never wanted for a seat. Scott just wanted appreciated tap water. Yeah. And a good word of Ludex, disgraceful. Like, Ludex has a very good thing. I agree. As long I don't know how many cards they have on it. I don't know.
It's like a laxative medicine.
I don't even know what they do. I got to be honest. There's so many companies now.
You scan a card and you put it into a portfolio, but it gives you all the information as soon as you scan the card.
So is that what Ed uses for his Juan Soto portfolio?
What's that? Yeah. Yeah. So, but
it's a laxative for the card hobby, then, right?
You
take a piece of shit and you just process it.
Thank you, Andy. Andy put it in the better words than I could because he's smarter than me. The VIP room felt like you were having to sit through a timeshare presentation. Damn. I wasn't even sitting in there, and that's exactly what it was. I heard it from passing. I'm like, because to go in, they wanted you to scan stuff on their tables and all this stuff, interactive stuff. I just, I sat in the next room over. It was quiet. Everybody was chit-chatting. I watched somebody open something I never seen before, and I wish I could just kings and queens or something, but it was autographs of people in sports and non-sports. It was pretty cool stuff. The checklist. I was talking to a father and son, and they were videotaping it, of course, afterwards. But, it used to be you could go in there, video some stuff, break. It was just a place to talk and meet some people and just be quiet for a little bit.
What you got to do next time is just go sit on the floor by the escalator like Ed, and maybe you'll make it into a photo that's shared all over.
Did that happen?
No, you didn't see that?
No. Why did I know about this?
It was something about trade nights or something. I don't know. I got to find it. It's all over Facebook. Ed's just sitting on the floor.
Was he sitting at the other, like the main floor, like the lobby?
I think it's over by one of those water fountains by the escalator we take.
On the backside? Yeah. Oh my gosh! Because I mean, somebody found the empty table upstairs Saturday and set up a whole sales table upstairs.
Oh, I
They
did
had
see that. Yeah.
mystery packs and everything. It was
Wow.
on live the whole time. Hey, these young people are entrepreneurs, man. You three kids try to sneak in on Sunday. I watched them get popped, and I
That's
think
good
they
to
got
see that they got the hustle, though. There's so
yeah.
many kids out there, the millennials and stuff, all the technology. If they just had hustle, they'd be billionaires. Yeah. So it's good to
Well,
see
that's
kids
what I
with
said.
hustle.
I don't want to hear nothing else about the kids in the hobby. The kids run the hobby. We're just along for the ride. Everything. I mean, I'm sorry.
Seems like they're the ones setting the prices, even on
They
the.
for ultra modern
Not
stuff,
listen.
100%. Because of
Keep
all
them
that.
away from pre-war for the
Yeah.
for the near
Vintage,
future.
yeah, no. Ultra modern, high end stuff, I believe they're the ones. And when I say kids, I mean 25 and under. I don't mean literal 6-year-olds.
Hey, Mike, I think you make a good point about that because if they realize what kind of potential there is on making money on that, God help y'all.
If they realize that, that's great that the red refractor is, numbered to 5, but there's 8,000 different, whoever red refractors. Whereas we have, you always hear the pop, oh, this is a pop 7. It's like, yeah, well, some of these cards are a pop 3 among PSA and SGC, and it's, 140 years old. And pretty much most of those cards, every time they sell for more than the previous time because there's no competition on them.
Right. Right. And I mean,
But
and that's the
hopefully,
way with,
none of these young guys are watching Big Scout 35 right now.
well, and I mean, any vintage card, I feel it's not even has to be pre-war. I mean, there's not a rarity or a scarcity, but a lot of them do end up in collections, and you got to wait for somebody who's ready to break up their collection to get some of it out there. But it was plenty of vintage there to show. I was really enjoyed looking at it. Like I said in my video yesterday, my one regret was not getting that bench. I wish I would have went ahead and jumped in, but I was not going to buy anything until I got to Carrie Fisher. So
you got to stick to your guns. But
I had to stick to the guns.
But the bundle might have helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, I would have at least had one more. I mean, I did get a Johnny Bench auto, but it wasn't a play-in days. But it was a beautiful card regardless. I think PC Sports Cards is the name of the place. That it really turned me on to them Thursday. Wesker Griff did. He bought a really nice Eddie Murray for $40 over there.
I bought from them. Yeah,
they do consignments and everything. I got a card somewhere around here amongst everything else that I got.
They used to do videos before it got locked down. I think they're in New York City, I think.
Okay,
And,
there's
they
3 guys.
got locked down.
They're really, really. I mean, they're really nice. They're working with everybody that came up. I bought 3 cards, and I'm not the greatest of hagglers all the time. When I see something, I just want to get it. But I did get a good price on it. I feel like, but
never pay sticker, buddy.
I didn't pay sticker. I did only one time. I gotta say I paid sticker is because the person wasn't there to give me the discount, and it was $25. And I was like, I'm not
well,
to pay $25.
Never say never. That's the problem.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you find a 52 mantle for $10 and it's authentic, you're an asshole if you try and get it for $750. Let's just be honest. But you should negotiate whenever possible, because I know it's been talked about a lot, and we're falling back in that national talk, but it's so easy to do. But like Ed is like a kid in the candy. He was so happy this year. He was so like afraid of this national going in, just based on his experience last year. And the dealers, like, are you going to have a few pricks of course, you're going to have that anywhere you go. But generally
Right.
speaking, the dealers were priced at a decent price, and they were willing to work a little bit. Like even super rare stuff. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things I bought where, if necessary, in all honesty, I was willing to pay sticker because I knew it was already a good price. But obviously, I was going to try and save $50. There's some cases where I got like 150 off, and I was like, "You're being a little too generous," but I'm not going to complain with it.
Yeah, this is true, Andy. Are different companies trying to shield protectors? I mean,
that's the same thing as everything going on though. Now you buy a cell phone for $1,000, and then you got to buy a screen protector for $30, and then you got to buy a case for $40. Right. Now you spend God knows what on a slab, and then now you got to pay. You got to get a protective sleeve so you don't scratch the slab. Now they're pushing the slab cases. Who knows what's next?
Yeah.
I saw that even for the comic books. I saw that on Instagram yesterday. They're doing them for the graded comic books too.
Battery, just to let you know, there was plenty of regional stuff. The actual Johnny Bench that I turned down was a meat packaging company that did cards for just the Reds. It was an oversized card and a 5. Me and Mike both told this guy his stuff was too good. Like and what we mean by that, everything was 9s. Like, it's hard to buy 1970. And he had like Kellogg's cards and 1969 Clemente 3D. That's hard to, what is it? The 3D Tops one. I mean, that stuff is untouchable. I mean, not untouchable, but then when you're trying to get deals and the guy pulls out 9s, it's tough. But the guy came down by $400 because Mike made a bundle, and he said, I'll sell this bench for what he was saying. And I had my hand in my pocket on my money, and I said, nope, Carrie Fisher. And the thing is, Carrie Fisher was 100 feet away from me, if that far. And I didn't know it. And this was this Wednesday night, Mike?
That was Wednesday night when I bought. And the reason because Wednesday my goal was to kind of look around as much and get a feel for things. But that's a dealer I had dealt with previously at the Philly show. And he's pretty decently priced to begin with. And then in the past, he's worked really well with me. So I kind of knew right away when I saw a few things I was interested in that he was going to work it down to a price where it made sense to grab it.
And he was the first one to tell us that Tuesday was his best day of any show that he's ever worked. And the show didn't start till Wednesday. So they said
God knows what we missed out on.
Tuesday, there was people in there like it was a normal show. From what I've heard, Triple Crown told me, Mike Moynihan, people told me it was like a regular show, and between the dealers and the people with the special badges.
I need no badges.
I put this on our group chat, Mike, and we talked a little bit about this. So let me put it this way to the chat: if you had to choose either Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, Sunday, which 2 days would you pick?
Thursday, Friday.
All 4.
I know you can't do that.
Well, the problem for me is, honestly, if I were just going, I would want to do the early days, because when I'm going to the National, my main focus is the pre-war stuff right now. And that stuff, some of it goes and you won't see it again for 5 years.
Right.
But for deals, like you've said, Saturday, Sunday, especially Sunday, and this year, we were there for what? Few hours, 3-4 hours of the show.
Yeah.
There were another 2-3 hours to go. It reminded me a lot of Cleveland in 2018. Because 2018 Cleveland was the best Sunday I've been at, where it was mostly filled, but there were just, especially for wax, and even
they must have said something to him.
And Mike. we didn't stay late enough to see some of And I
Right.
mean, it was probably going on, but like some of the slab box deals and bargain box deals, because I remember in Cleveland getting some great deals on that type of stuff, just being able to buy out boxes really cheap and such. But the wax was moving; they were marking it down a little bit. They were working with you. Sunday was a good day, and it was nice and cool too, and it
And
wasn't
it
overly
wasn't.
crowded.
I tell you,
It was my favorite day of actually walking around, I think, at the show.
it was for them to announce they broke a record because I didn't think they would because of that Sunday. Because I thought Sunday was one of the slowest days I've seen in a national in a long time.
But you also have to factor in how much bigger the national is, so it's probably spreading the people thin
And that's
if it's not
exactly
overly
right.
crowded.
Was there on Sunday? I know you all said last year at the National there was a lot of the vendors already breaking down and had left.
It was
Did that
sad.
look like that got addressed this year or same
It looked
thing?
like they might have said something to him. I saw one table packed up where somebody had not come in yet to break it, to open it for the night before, and I saw maybe 2-3 tables on this. Now, Nats man, it's hard to explain how big this floor was that were empty. Mike said on our drive home and last Sunday night, some of these people sell their table for a day or two, share with others, stuff like that. So
Yeah, there was some new stuff in there Sunday that wasn't there other days.
right.
And I got lucky. I found a card that was like on my list, and the guy just happened to pop in there Sunday, and he had it in a box, and I was looking at some other stuff, and
Right.
I was
and I mean that's
stunned, super excited.
When I saw this year on Sunday, and the dealers had such a great show. They were talking to me about deals before I could even start talking to them. And the table where I bought my Alonzo downtown and the autograph of Piazza, that guy already had stuff priced to sell. I mean, he already had great prices on his stuff. He also does Chantilly. As soon as I saw him, I was like, man, I know you from another show. Oh, I'm at Chantilly. I do he said a couple other shows. I was like, oh, okay, now I know. Yeah. And so we talked a minute. He had an awesome show. So I think these people are really, I same way with on Saturday evening when I picked up my Pete Alonso out of 10 with that chunky patch. People, I just think Saturday evening and Sunday dealers were ready. And the way I collect, there's going to be something there for me to buy on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not like Mike. Mike is looking for pre-war, so I completely understand. I'm not ultra modern by any means. I couldn't find a Johnny Bench playing days and a Topps card and a PSA slab to save my life.
Yeah, all I saw for Johnny Bench were either autograph cards or the rookies. Rookies
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah, I can find his rookie. I can even find a second-year card, which is my favorite card. It is, but I just couldn't find. I got those. I have several of those, but they won't give them away. So
You just got to raid the beast. Raid the
Yeah.
beast, and you'll find them all.
That's right. We had, so I feel like Sunday, it's a Saturday and Sunday are just better days. I just want to coast into the weekend next year. Look for lower end, harder to find stuff early on, and do what I did this year. If I don't pick up any singles till Saturday, Sunday, I'm fine with that. Because I didn't find what I was looking for. I'm not going to buy stuff because, right? I did that in my years past because I'm just excited to be there. I'm still excited to be there, but the excitement is more of being there, not buying stuff, not being there to buy stuff, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, early on, you can buy a box of cheap stuff and it gives you something to do during the week. Open up some stuff. Even if you get destroyed in the box, I mean, it's a story. You can laugh about it,
And doing the corporate stuff early on, all that stuff, that's dropping off cards. Just, hey, Stooks, what's up, brother? everybody go check his channel. Anybody, all these guys are in these chats. I think everybody has a channel. Need to check each other out, support each other, spread the love. I really, I didn't. I wanted to get away from the national. We just can't do it. Next year,
it's just so hard.
it is. So next year, I think I told Mike I was planning on flying. I looked at how easy it is to drive from here to Cleveland. It's 7 hours on a straight road.
Just like 3 turns and you're there.
I don't even know. I don't even think it's when I literally looked at the IX Center. Once I hit West Virginia, it's a straight shot from here. I was like, oh my goodness, like 7 hours.
Ed should fly down to Carolina and ride with you so that he can see those West Virginia hills he's so excited about.
I hate driving through West Virginia, but I'll do it for this show. I looked at it 7 hours because my plan Sunday next year is I really would like to stay closer to the end of the show next year, just to see what I've stayed to the end a couple of times in the past. But this year was just, I wish I would have had more money for Sunday. I really do.
And not, what, 15? No, you were probably longer than that. What did it take to get back to Baltimore? 12 hours if you went straight through?
To get to Baltimore from Chicago?
12? Yeah.
11, a little over 11 hours.
So for you, you had a 16-hour ride home if you had gone straight. So you can only stay so long.
Right. If I would have drove straight from Chicago to Winston-Salem, that was 12 hours. Still would have been way too. But next year, I can stay till 5 and still I could get home at 1 in the morning driving straight. So 2 in the morning, stopping a couple of times, whatever.
I've spent more time following this year's national thinking about the following year's national than I ever have. Because I'm always, after the national's over, you're thinking about the national, you're enjoying it. And you think about the following, but like, I've gone through all sorts of variations. Like you said, I know we had that little group chat of the people we stayed with where all of a sudden it came up, someone found a house and was like, dude, this place looks great. It's like, well, if you can still cancel it, just book it. What the hell? Why not?
Right.
I mean, people are going to book the hell out of the hotels.
Well, I told y'all that I saw the book. And all the dealers are already handing in their slips to book the hotels for next year. Just the dealers. And then when you put the corporate with the people they got to bring, goodness gracious.
Yeah. And so Chicago, the advantage of staying in a hotel, if you can, is that you can just walk back and forth and all that. And we missed out on that this year. And the Airbnb was great and all. And it was only a mile down the road. I mean, it was walkable if you wanted to. It was probably like a 20, 25-minute walk. Granted, when it's 99 degrees, beaming hot, you're not going to want to do that walk. But Cleveland, no matter where you stay, if you're in a hotel, you could take the shuttle, but then you're relying on the shuttle, and some hotels are better than others. Cleveland's the one that makes the most sense to, do the Airbnb thing. So I think that's a great option, of course.
Yeah, and it looks like we found a really good one. It looks like I'm a scout on this. My commute to my desk for 2024 looks to be identical to what I experienced this year. But I just want to try to stay there. And like I said, I don't have to be there every hour. I know I love it there. I wish I had your. I think next year, I might even get in shape for the next year's national. Scary enough as that is. My shape right now is pear, but maybe I can get more orange or something. I don't know. Apple-ish, a little rounder. But anyway,
Honey crisp.
Yeah, gala, a nice
I'm
gala.
just so excited. Like for next year's, I'm already like at one point I was like, oh, I'm gonna get in there Tuesday and hang out with Andy and get in on his dealer pass things. Get connection to baseball collectors crew. At the very least, definitely all day Wednesday, which I've never kind of done because of traveling. But then I'm like thinking,
There you
I'm
go,
like, oh, maybe
Carlisle.
I'll drive up Monday morning and stay with my buddy who's probably like an hour outside of Cleveland, and
Right.
definitely staying through Sunday. So I
I'm
mean, things
gonna
can
go stay
change,
with
but
Neo for a night, and then me and
good
him.
luck with that.
He said all the hotels were already taken, so I know put a tent.
You guys would probably be boys with the comics and cards.
We could. But
Though I think he's a big Marvel guy, and you're wearing the Batman shirt. So.
I'm a DC guy. See, there you have it. But yeah, it's hard to stay away from it. Even further we get away to the first of the year. First of the year usually kind of marks the first talks of next year. I've already seen a floor plan for next year's show. If anybody knows,
they're going to be setting up booths in the Ferris wheel, probably.
It's a big square, right? You remember last year in front of last time it was in front of a Ferris wheel was a lot of space with tables and chairs. I don't know if all that space is going to be there this time. So
I don't even remember. Did they had stuff? I guess they had curtains over part of it, right?
Well, I know
right
I had general admission, so
if you're facing the parking lot, I think they had stuff curtained off to the right, and then to the left was where you had
the autographs,
the places you could eat and such, if I remember right.
Well, where
I think the autographs were in like the back.
I know where I came in for general admission. That area, there was like they made a lobby area with curtains, so it looks like they're taking those curtains down, and when you walk in those doors now, you're walking into the convention center, like into the show. So it's just going to be one big square. It's going to be interesting. Can't wait. Anybody have anything in closing? Any questions from the audience? Anybody? Anything? Thank you. I love seeing my man Nats Man back tonight. Looking good, looking sharp. Looks like he can take on the world tonight. So if we don't have anything else, we're going to leave it with that. Like, share, tell a friend. Thank you guys for coming in. Listening to me. I didn't mean to stir the pot a little bit at the beginning. I just wanted to come in with a little bit different view of what was going on. So until next time, see ya.
See ya.